So good morning ma'am, good morning classmates. I'm Jimalin Biagan. I'm going to tackle about the research design and experiments. So first is, what is research design? Research design is the document that contains information about the technique, methods, and essential details of a project. The design allows researchers to sharpen the research methods suitable for the subject matter and set up their studies for success. And also, a research design is a strategy for answering your research question using the empirical data. First is your overall research objectives and approach. Also, whether you rely on primary research or secondary research. The primary research is a type of data collection that you undertake yourself or firsthand. And also the secondary research is the data that has already been collected. So the third one, your sampling method or criteria for selecting subjects. So the sampling method is all about the probability and non-probability. The fourth one is your data collection methods. The fifth one, the procedures you'll follow to collect data. And the sixth is your data analysis methods. Just remember that a well-planned research design helps ensure that your methods match your research objectives and that you use the right kind of analysis for your data. So we have here the characteristic of research design. There are four key characteristics. The first one is the neutrality. When you set up your study, you may have to make assumptions about the data you expect to collect. The result projected in the research should be free from research bias and neutral. So in between ni siya. And the second one is the reliability. With regularly conducted research, the researcher expects similar results every time. You will only be able to reach the desired result if your design is reliable. The third one is the validity. There are multiple measuring tools available. However, the only correct measure tools are those which help a researcher in gauging result according to the objective of the research. The fourth one is the generalization. The outcome of your design should apply to a population and not just a restricted sample. So, how do we create a research design? First is reflect on your hypothesis. The hypothesis you've developed for your research includes a piece of crucial information about your research question and variables that you want to evaluate. Two is decide on research approach. Now, there are two main approaches to your research approach, the qualitative approach and quantitative approach. So the quality approach is all about the interpretation base, while the quantity approach is involves numbers, countable or measurable. The third one is select the type of research design. For the quantitative research design, you can use experimental design, quasi-experimental design, correlational design, and descriptive design for your quantitative research. And for the qualitative research design, the most commonly used types of research design include case study, ethnography, grounded theory, and phenomenology. So that's it. And the fourth one is define your population and sampling method. This is in particular important when you're dealing with the large populations, people in a specific country, and it is impossible to get a data on all of them. Instead, you will collect data based on a representative sample of that population. The fifth one is select data collection method. The former focuses on collecting new data via surveys, questionnaires, interviews, observation, mathematical modeling, and so on. The sixth one is design your data collection process. Now it's time to determine the minimum amount of data necessary for your research. The seventh is develop approach to data analysis. it's time to decide how you are going to analyze your data. You can do it by using the qualitative and quantitative data analysis tools, following the research design approach you selected in number 2. So we have here the types of research design. We have here the 5 types of research design, and these are descriptive, which is in descriptive composition. A researcher is solely interested in describing the situation or case under their research study. The second one is the experimental. Experimental research establishes a relationship between the cause and effect of a situation. So it involves a scientific method. And the third one is the correlational research. Correlational research is a non-experimental research technique. It helps a researcher establish a relationship between two closely connected variables. The fourth one is the diagnostic research. In diagnostic design, the researcher is looking to evaluate the underlying cause of a specific topic or phenomenon. Number 5 is the explanatory research. Explanatory design uses a researcher's ideas and thought on a subject to further explore their theories. So those are the types of research design. So we have here the experimental research design. In experimental design means planning a set of procedures to investigate a relationship between variables. And we have here the elements of the experimental design. So in hypothesis, independent variable, dependent variable, control variable. So in hypothesis, a research hypothesis is a statement that describes what you predict your research to reveal. No hypothesis. And then the independent variable. An independent variable is a variable that does not depend on the other variables. And then the dependent variable. A dependent variable is a variable that depends on another variable. And the fourth one is the control variable. A control variable is a variable that remains constant throughout a research experiment. So we have here the principles of experimental design. First is the replication. Replication involves a repetition of the basic experiment as we naka-try na pud ta og kuan kana experiment before kang Ma'am April, diba? So we do a replication tulo to ka replicate sa water analysis nato. And then number 2 is the randomization. Randomization involves distributing the treatment to different experimental units using probability. And also, this ensures that each experimental unit is likely to receive the treatments. Randomization eliminates the probability of bias from the result of the experimental research design. And then the third one is the local control. Local control is the method to control the error variation and thus reducing the error by arranging the experimental units. This is the value of the variable is kept constant to keep it from affecting the conclusion of the experiment. And also that's all my report, and this is my references. Thank you for watching.